Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Zach, and wanted to spend some time with you guys. I'm on my way home right now from a meeting, and it's about midnight, hence the darkness, and why I'm having to use my light up here just to even give me enough light to spend some time with you. But wanted to talk to you a little bit about the main reasons why people don't see success in the business, and it comes down to just a few things. And this might strike a chord with some of you. I know it struck a chord with me many times over my years in the business, and none of us ever really fully. I think we're always still growing. We don't ever. We get over our challenges, and then we move on to different challenges. But these are the main ones that really trip people up early on in the business, and then not even just early on, but these are the things that if you don't get right, you don't move on, period. And these are things that I had to come to terms with. Things like consistency, right? Consistency and action. If you are not consistently taking action in the business, you will not get results. I will not get results if I do not consistently take action until you work yourself out of the problem. Now, when you're a huge level in the business and you've got hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands and thousands and thousands of people on your team, when you have that, then you have worked yourself out of the need to be consistent with work. But until then, if you're not consistent, you're not going to get enough people in a short enough period of time to create momentum. Therefore, you're not going to get any results. And you're also probably not going to develop the skill sets needed to actually be good at sponsoring, good at retaining, good at creating volume. So that's number one, consistency. Number two, communication skills. This kind of goes hand in hand with it, which is why it's number two. If you're consistent, you're probably going to start developing some better communication skills. You have to have good communication skills to sponsor people and retain them, and also create volume. Well, how do you get good communication? Well, you have a lot of reps. How do you get buff? You have a lot of reps in the gym. You get good communication skills by having a lot of reps, showing a lot of plans, talking to a lot of people, and then you supplement that with reading books, taking training programs, listening to training audios on people skills, persuasion techniques, etc. So that's number two. So consistency holds people back. Communication holds people back. The next thing, this is a huge one, probably the biggest one, is financial management. There's expenses that we all incur in the business. Depending on how you actually build your business, you're going to incur expenses. Now, if you're buying leads, that's a big expense. I don't know why you're buying them. No one gets started from a lead that's purchased. But that's an expense. You're probably spending money on training and education products in some avenue, be it books, training courses, or maybe audio programs from your own education system. That's an expense. If you're buying products to sample out, that's obviously an expense. If you're putting gas in your car to drive to trainings, to go show the plan to people, to go spend time with people, airline tickets to get with certain parts of your group, these are all expenses. And while it only costs a few $100 a month to run a good network marketing business, if you don't know how to manage that properly, it's going to sink you, because you probably didn't have a ton of extraneous income coming into the business. And now if you add this additional expense without removing other things, other expenses, it's eventually going to sink you. You're going to think the business is broken rather than the way you handle your money. See, now that you're in a business, you have to learn how to invest properly rather than be a constant consumer where you're only thinking about how do I get the most pleasure for my dollar. That's the biggest thing that sinks people. No joke, financial management will sink people. Some of my longest standing legs, the ones that have quit because of financial issues. Now, there's a few for other reasons, but the majority of them that have been long standing, like over a year, that eventually left, were because of financial problems they had in their own head, and they were bleeding money. Well, that wasn't because of the business, but it was because they never fixed their thought process about being in the business and how to handle their money. Thus, they saw the business in their mind as a loss. And the last one is very large as well. It's self-image. How do you view yourself? If you view yourself as someone that doesn't deserve success, doesn't deserve to sponsor people. Maybe you don't feel adequate to lead anyone. I understand. I fully do. But I think this is sometimes a little bit broken. Some people think that in order to increase self-image or self-worth is to like spend jillions of years in like this like introspective place where you can like eventually convince yourself that you're worth something. And if you're willing to spend like months and months and months and tons of money going through like a professional course like that, that's probably not the way to do it. I know that those do work because my wife did that before we met. She spent like, I think around 10 grand and about a year on personal development courses or a personal development program to really dive deep, and she came out of that thing like just bulletproof. One of the most amazing self-images I've ever come across is her. A lot of us aren't going to do that. I didn't do that. I think the majority of us are going to get a good self-image from taking action on things that we're scared of and making progress. When you do that, when you prove to yourself that you're willing to do what most people aren't willing to do, your self-image raises, you win yourself over, and by default, you can lead people because really leadership is influence. And if you can influence people and you believe that you can actually influence people, you're going to. See, the person that influences the other in a conversation is just the one that's more confident in what they're saying. That's it. It's purely belief. It's purely perspective. So, anyway, guys, that's it. Those are the 4 main things that hold people back from success in this business specifically, and probably a lot in any endeavor, I would imagine, but definitely in this business. So, hope that helped you guys. It's really nice. I mean, there's barely any traffic, and I'm downtown right now, which is fantastic. But probably 10 minutes from home, and going to work on the house a little bit. Oh my gosh, we're getting pictures taken tomorrow, and it's going to be up for sale in a week. And I'm going to miss the city. I'm not going to lie. There's pieces of me that's going to miss it a little bit. I can't believe I'm saying that. I did not want to come here at all, and I'm sort of going to miss it in some small ways, but at the same time, I'm also not going to miss it at all. So anyway, talk to you soon, guys.